Time is 8 minutes past 9, and I promised that I would get somebody into the studio who would actually be talking about something as mysterious as cloud computing. Yes, let me tell you a little about the company before we actually start talking to Sachin Dugal. He and Saurabh Duth, they co-founded Nivio, which is a global cloud computing company. Now, if you're in technology, then you totally get this. But if you're not, then let me actually break it down for you. It's basically global. It's a global cloud computing company, and the goal of Nivio is to remove computing constraints and provide unlimited access to Microsoft Windows. The company was selected as a World Economic Forum technology pioneer in the year 2009. Now, Nivio's flagship service is the world's first window-based online desktop. It enables customers to access their personal desktop from any device that is connected to the internet. So the online desktop offers unrestricted storage and power and unfettered access, and the ability to rent original and updated software on a rental pay-as-you-go basis. So more about that. So Sachin is actually in conversation with me. Hi Sachin, how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me here.
All right, Sachin, let's get right down to it. How did you actually conceptualize Nivio?
The whole story goes like this. Saurabh and I were of this belief that, we believe that true entrepreneurship was about solving a wider socio-economic problem, but also making a lot of money and returning shareholder value. It's about a good karma balance between the two. Our passion, I think, ever since day one was always around, we believe that the future leaders would always be found in some of the underprivileged areas of the world if people were given a chance. And so education became really important for us, especially from kids from 6 and above. And so we created the foundation with a goal to educate 100 million kids over our lifetime, and we set a goal of 50 years. And we knew that the way we would do this would be through the use of technology.
All right, now I'm intrigued. Okay, so tell me more about Nivio.
The entire experience around the PC is just too complicated, and so we said we were going to build a for-profit business that was going to be hugely scalable. To do 100 million kids means you need a lot of cash, and we were going to bring this entire cost of ecosystem down. But more importantly, we were going to bring the magic back to the computing experience. If you think about what our end user does today, they use a cell phone, they drive a car, they use cable TV. In none of those situations do they really have to understand how it works. The computing experience still remains really cumbersome. It goes out of date, gets a virus, don't have the software, didn't back up my data. I mean, there's a number of issues associated with it. And we kind of set this very high-level goal of trying to bring the magic back. And what we promised ourselves was that we would be obsessed with user experience and about making the experience seamless for the end user.
Okay, lovely. So it's just going to get better for the user. I just like that, because that's breaking it down for the user. And you're so right. There was a time when we used to have to worry about things like DOS commands and things like that. Well, that's a thing of the past, and this is only going to get better. So anyway, more conversation with Sachin Dugal from Nivio. Do stay tuned. We're going to find out what cloud computing is all about. Coming up, the Cardigans with Loveful right here on 94.3 Radio 1. My name is Chris. Founded Nivio, which is a global cloud computing company, and the whole purpose, the whole aim of the company is the goal of it is to remove computing constraints and providing unfettered access to Microsoft Windows. You heard him earlier. Basically what Sachin was saying was that we just want to remove the entire mess and all the complications that go with using the computer and making it an unrestrained and pleasurable experience. All right, let me get down to it actually, Sachin. I wanted to ask you, what is Nivio's vision? Where is this actually going to go? How far?
Nivio's vision is really about bringing the magic back and making the computing experience so seamless that it's transparent. Our biggest success is when the user only sees our brand but does not see our technology, and that's when I know that we've become successful. It has to be highly intuitive. Customer service needs to be absolutely phenomenal. We've set ourselves a very high goal of having a net promoter score of greater than 70%, which puts us in line with Apple in terms of target.
All right, okay. So who is this service being aimed at? Who is your target group? Who's your target audience?
Our world is very much focused around the student and what we call the professional consumer, someone who's working, and then also the small businesses. And the real reason is because the decision-making process across those groups of audiences are fairly similar. Suppose you're given a laptop and your niece is over. You could go home, but today you would probably think twice about letting her play with the laptop. But with Nivio, you could have a second personality that's running on top of that physical machine that is not connected to the physical machine in any way. But we're making it very easy for you to be able to rent applications, get content on top. so that there's also a way for us to continue to provide that service.
Absolutely. All right. Also, Sachin, what is Nivio's goal? I mean, what do you intend to actually get out of Nivio, this entire experience?
Our real goal is to build a very large business that we're targeting $40-50 billion plus. We've got a lot of time ahead of us, but there's a sense of urgency about really getting on with this and moving forward. I think it's only every once in a decade that you have the ability to see industries being born. In technology, you see it almost once every half of a decade. I think this is our half of the decade moment.
Of the company Nivio, which is a global cloud computing company. What is global cloud computing, you may ask? Well, Sachin is here just to explain that to us. Sachin, really do actually delve a little deeper into what cloud computing is all about.
What the cloud does is moves all the engineering headache, all the technology somewhere far away, and it leaves it being managed by professionals. And it leaves you simply with the ability to consume the experience, whether that is writing your CV or balancing your accounts in Excel, or creating a business plan, or editing a photo. For what you're trying to do, it makes it very simple.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, Sachin, what are the more critical products of Nivio?
Sure. So there are really three pieces to the service that really make the PC experience, right? So you have your Windows desktop, you have regular applications like Office, and then you have online storage. So what Nivio does is we give 10 gigs of storage free to the end customer. That's about 2,500 songs, 500 movies. Okay. It's probably around 10,000 pictures and about 100,000 documents. And we give that for free.
That's not bad at all. All right. Okay, a little bit more about the products that we can get from Nivio.
You have the ability to switch on services as you see fit. So for example, you're away from your machine, and you needed access to the desktop and an application. You just pay for the month, and then after that you go back to the free service. In India, where we're targeting pricing at about 90 rupees for the student per month for Windows, or at the price of 200 rupees, you've got a legal version of Windows Office and online storage. And then there's a second really important use case is that a lot of people have old machines, running XP. And in the Nivio world, they can now get the latest version of Windows and the latest software without having to physically upgrade the hardware. That's the whole power of the cloud, because all the memory and the CPU and all the disk storage, everything is all kept online. And the device is really just a pair of binoculars.
Wow, that's a great analogy actually, because a lot of people for whom the whole idea of actually broaching a computer is so cumbersome, like retired people who are not part of this, like generation, the whole technology generation, they find the whole idea of actually getting onto a computer quite like quite a magnanimous or a huge task. So actually, this could actually work for people like that. More about Nivio, more about global cloud computing. Do stick around right here on Good Morning Delhi. Coming up right now, Train with Drive by 94.3 Radio 1, upgrade to international radio.